always sign. And it's good to come together. We aren't meeting face to face now, but spirit to spirit, we are one. Yes. And Dana has a song for us to get started.
Thank you, Claudia. While I walk in beauty, while I walk in beauty.
Your sound is kind of garbled.
Oh yeah, you know why? Because I haven't turned on original sound. Hang on. There we go. Turn on original sound. Like magic.
Yes.
While I walk in beauty, 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 the whole universe is walking with me. In beauty it walks before me. In beauty it walks behind me. In beauty it walks above and below me. I see beauty on every side. I see beauty on every side. While I walk in beauty, 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 may we always walk in beauty. May we always walk in beauty. May we always walk in beauty. Walk in beauty.
Thank you, Dana. It was lovely. Our daily word for today is radiance. The Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. On a clear day, when a stray cloud passes across the sun, I notice the suddenly diminished light. Then looking up, I see brilliant rays of sunshine surrounding the cloud. Instead of hiding the sun, the cloud helps me see and appreciate the sun's radiance. As the sun lights the earth and is the source of its energy, the Christ, the divine presence within me, is my light and the source of everything that I need in order to live brilliantly and joyfully. When, like a passing cloud, an obstacle or challenge, I just lost my place, along my path may seem to dim my Christ light, I respond by looking up, by raising my point of view. I am reassured and strengthened, knowing that the divine radiance is shining as brightly as ever. No cloud can dim the divine light in me. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. We are so blessed to feel that radiance within ourselves, expanding outward through our world and the universe. In Christ, we are blessed. And so it is. Dina, You're muted.
I'm even holding my stylus in my hand to remind me that I need to click that off, because I mute myself when you're speaking so we don't get echoes here. But I've got to remember to unmute it. All right, so the congregational song is True to the Heart, and the lyrics are in the chat box. I'm going to teach this briefly to you. So this song has two sections. It has the section that begins with "We Will Be," which shows up numerous times in the song, and it has the "Be True ... section. So this is the "We Will Be True to the Heart" section, the part that begins the song. It sounds like this. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. And it just repeats. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. And it goes into the second section, which is different. Be true to the spirit, be true to the heart. And it goes back to the first section. And so the whole song just goes back and forth between those two sections. So here we go at the very beginning. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. Be true to the spirit, be true to the heart. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. Be true to the spirit, be true to the heart. We will be true to the heart, true to the soul, true to the dream only we can know. True to the heart, true to the soul, true to the spirit of life. The spirit of life, the spirit of life, the spirit of life.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. And now, yes, yay to Dina. Now's the time when we light our candle, the Christ candle. Let's see if I can get it where it shows light. Nope, the light is there. The Christ light symbolizes the presence, the joy, the power, the wonder of the Christ within us. And the more we are open to allowing that Christ light to shine through us, to fill us with radiance that none can deny, we realize our truth, our wholeness in the presence of God, celebrating the oneness of spirit. That light is eternal. It ever shines within us, shining brightly. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. And that brings us now to our affirmation. It's a new one for August. I'll read it through once and then invite you to join me. I set my intention today to keep my heart light and free. Together, I set my intention today to keep my heart light and free. And so it is. Dina?
Thank you. To open up Reverend James's talk this evening, this is a Janice Stanfield song, Listen for the Whisper. I tune into the experts on all the TV shows. I read the books that tell me all the things that I should know. I ask my friends what they think of the things I'm going through when no one has the answer. I listen for the whisper deep down inside. Listen for the whisper, a strong but gentle guide with 1,000 different voices ringing in my ear. I listen for the whisper that only the heart can hear. The other voices tell me that I'm not good enough to win the peace of mind they say that I'm not worthy of. And though they shout so loudly, sometimes I can hardly think. I know where to turn. I listen for the whisper deep down inside. Listen for the whisper, a strong but gentle guide with 1,000 different voices ringing in my ear. I listen for the whisper that only the heart can. Listen for the whisper deep down inside. Listen for the whisper, a strong but gentle guide with 1,000 different voices ringing in my ear. Listen for the whisper that only the heart can hear.
Thank you, Dina. How sweet it is. Listen to the whisper. Beautiful. And thank you, Claudia, for the beautiful prayer. You made me remember that I forgot to turn my candles on, or light my candles, I should say, back there. But you did the Christ candle beautifully for all of us. It's great to be with you guys today, for sure. I recognize some of your faces. I recognize some of your names that are attending today, like my friend Penny Worth, who I always say there should be a special place in the kingdom for you for your skills as registrar for Canuga, which is where I met a lot of you, including some guy named Reverend Jim Rosemurphy. If y'all have heard of him, I think he's the keynote speaker coming up for the retreat, which I'm excited about because I am officially on sabbatical. But I don't look rested yet, but I will by the time I see you at the retreat. So I got a question to start us off today. Who feels they are in perfect balance? Your wheels are balanced, your wheels are aligned, life is in sync and going smooth, just 100%, you're a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, no. How many feel that you're a little bit on the hamster wheel of life, as I call it? Go, go, go. Got to get there. Got to do this. Got to do this. And it's just getting nowhere fast. And if you don't feel like you're ever been on a hamster wheel in your life, I suggest you go to ministerial school and become a minister so you can have that experience. You know, ministers notoriously do not take very good care of themselves. The self-care is lacking a little bit because they're busy, working and praying and connecting with others and for others. And hence this beautiful, somewhere along the line creation that somebody said ministers need a sabbatical. So I'm excited about that, to be able to experience God, experience Source on a deeper level and refresh the calling and ministry and connect in just a way that really all of us should do, whether we're on sabbatical or not, take those mini sabbaticals. It's different than a vacation. So often people feel like they need a vacation to recover from their vacation, right? And you could probably raise your hand to that one. So a sabbatical is different, but it is listening to the whisper or the secret voice on Most High, as our co-founder Merle Fillmore put it. And I plan on doing a lot of that and self-reflecting. And I was talking to an accountant this week, and she said, your exploration into this idea of living a balanced life reminds me I need to audit my life, which is a term nobody really ever wants to hear, is audit, but I think we do want to hear it when we're thinking about our lives and how much balance do we have, and being able to audit our life and thinking about our health, our career, our finances, our relationships. Are any of these areas that you could consider some improvement on? Are you thriving in certain areas, but not thriving in other areas? Probably so, because some of the areas use some work. I talk to people who feel very energetic and full of vitality, but struggling to actually, it's not translating into connecting with other people, especially in the age of the pandemic and everything we've been going through a year and a half now. And the reverse is true too. They feel no energy and vitality, but yet forcing themselves to try to connect with people. And sometimes that doesn't feel very authentic either. So it just doesn't feel like their life is in balance. Same thing with career and income. Talk to people who say, oh, my career is going well, my income is soaring. Don't you like to talk to people, say that income's soaring, but I'm not getting to have any fun because I'm not getting to share it with anybody. I'm not experiencing life fully. I'm just all about, creating a living as opposed to designing a life. So my perspective of this idea of achieving more balance in life then is truly about designing a better life and demonstrating a better life. And it's so hard to do that if you don't have an accurate map on where you are today, where you are, where you're living from. Before I lived on this ranch, our ranch here in Texas, I was a Tennessee boy. I still am a Tennessee boy, really, even though I'm pretty jealous that you all are in the mountains and we have little hills. I grew up in Memphis. We had hills. We didn't have mountains. So I have an affinity for the mountains. But around here, we do have a lot of trails. And if you don't have a map, you could end up on the nature wildlife. There's something over here called 10 Mile Creek Preserve. And you don't see that very much anymore. I mean, there's animals everywhere and snakes and fun stuff like that. So you better have a mat to keep on the trail. And I think first and foremost, Jesus, our way shower, was about living a balanced life, of understanding his place in the world. And he seemed to demonstrate a life full of balance and a life that wasn't on the hamster wheel, getting nowhere fast. In fact, the disciples once asked Jesus, according to Matthew 24:36, asked Jesus, said, well, when is the great day of the Lord coming? When is that great day? And Jesus said something in Matthew 24, like, I don't know. So I don't know. Wait for it. Wait upon the Lord is the answer. So that's why I love Dina's song. I love that song about whispering and any reminder just to get still, that quiet meditative time with mindfulness and just listen. How have I gotten on the path? Or how have I gotten off the path? How can I get back on the path? Let me reflect on that. Let me do some self-assessment and try to get my life back into balance. Wait for it sometimes. Pause, breathe. Nobody, hamsters on the wheel are never waiting. They're just going, going, going. They think they don't have time to wait. And by talking about a hamster, I'm talking about me, because there's so often I can quickly rationalize that reason why I can't spend more time with this area of my life or that area or family as much as I would like to. And yes, you'll find out that my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, KK, she runs the house really, but people feel sorry for the PK, right? The preacher's kid. But she runs the house. But on Saturdays and Sundays, she's learned at 3 years old how to give me a guilt trip, which, we don't do that at Unity, but sometimes falls through the cracks, feel guilty. And on Saturdays, especially Sunday mornings, she's like, let's go play hide and seek, or let's play dinosaur, or dada over here, or run, dada, run. And then she acts like a dinosaur, and for a split second, I forget that anything else in the world is going on. But then I remember, oh yeah, I need to be prepping for Sunday, or oh yeah, it is Sunday and I need to go do this thing. And, I feel a little guilty about that. And I start feeling like maybe I'm not in sync as much as I would like to be in that aspect of my life. Now, one thing I do on every night that I can pat myself on the back for is at night, I read to her. If she brushes her teeth, she gets to be treated to being in the big bed with dad and mommy. And in the big bed, she gets to hear stories. She loves stories, and I create big fish tales. And so she likes these, and she wants me to get into it and get animated and exaggerate. And it's a little difficult sometimes after a long day of work, right? I mean, you've all been there, you know what I'm talking about. And another person that really liked stories and to tell stories really was the master teacher. Jesus told a lot of stories. And have you ever noticed how many big fish stories there are in the Bible? I mean, there's a lot of fish stories. I mean, and there's, literal fish stories there. Jonah and the whale, and of course, feeding the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Do I have that backwards? 5 loaves, 2 fish, 5 loaves. I know the answer, but I want you guys to be thinking. And that was long before Grubhub and Instacart. I mean, Amazon knows where we live. They love coming to our place. And but he did it. In the story, as the story goes, everybody ate to their fill. But my favorite story is actually the story where the fishermen, 7 out of 12 of the disciples were purported to be professional fishermen, right? By trade. That was their deal. And so Jesus used these stories because first century Galilee, big economy, fishing. So we use these stories for more than just physical nourishment, use them for spiritual nourishment. So my favorite one, disciples been out all night, had a fruitless effort, pretty despondent about that. And they come in and Jesus says, throw your net on the right side of the boat. Throw it to the right side. And this is after being all night in the darkness. Now the sun's coming up. They throw the nets to the right side and the nets get full. 153 fish exactly, it says in the Bible. So what's the significance of that fish story? And what is that metaphysically speaking? Metaphysically, fish represent thoughts, an abundance of thoughts. Like there are no shortage of ideas and thoughts and divine ideas and divine thoughts. So the fish represent the appropriation of those ideas. So what ideas are you appropriating in your life? Is it, oh, I don't have time, I have lack, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, that's error thought, we would say in unity. Casting the net to the right side of the boat. The net represents metaphysically putting illumination on that. It means the mind. The net is the mind, and putting it on the right side of the boat means right thinking. So for me to get balanced, that's a big first step. Actually, I would say the first step is the audit, the self-assessment. Where am I thinking on the right side of the boat? Where am I thinking on the other side of the boat? And how can I make steps to correct that? I love what Charles Fillmore said about this when he looked at it metaphysically. He said, having fished all night in the darkness of their understanding, the daybreak brings illumination of the Christ mind, and having cast their minds to the Christ mind, their experience is abundance, followed by a good meal. Yeah. So I like that idea of where's the darkness, where's the light? Let me put some illumination on this, and then cast out to the right side. So there's somebody else that talks about this idea, and like I said, you may have heard of him, Reverend Jim Rosemurgy, and he wrote a book, many books, called, well, this one of my favorites I've had for quite a while now. I have many shelves of books in my house, and it drives my wife a little crazy every time I bring more books home. I just like books, I really do. But this one, after that teaser, is Even Mystics Have Bills to Pay. Anybody read that? Just thumbs up, thumbs down. You probably haven't memorized since you live around the street from him, around the corner there in the mountains that I'm slightly jealous about. But he says here, one of the primary problems is allowing thoughts of lack to dominate our thinking. And to me, I don't go around believing that about myself, but it's so easy to get caught in the rut of rationalizing and justifying and hamster wheel, getting nowhere fast, may not even have the awareness that this is happening, that is dominating the thinking. He says we support thoughts, but they do not support our dreams. Okay, we're supporting thoughts, but they're not even supporting our dreams. Talks about in Matthew 25:29, this, when Jesus was talking about abundance and this idea of giving, that if you give, you're going to have more abundance. But if you don't, you'll lose what you do have. It's right here in Matthew 25, verse 29. So Reverend Jim says, Thanksgiving is the first step. So if you want to improve the balance of your thoughts, improve the balance of your life, where you're standing strong and in your power and opening up your spiritual eyes to the ones you love and to the world, then maybe that's a start, is to be more in thanksgiving and to give to give of yourself. And it's not just giving of money, but wherever you determine that there's lack in your life, give more of that and you receive more. It's just the universal law. So I created a tool. Actually, I didn't really create it, but I'll explain that. I was in the kitchen one morning with my wife, Tyler, and I was fired up. And I was talking about how wheels have spokes. And if one spoke is broken or weak, then the whole wheel gets out of balance. And so, and I just got on fire from there. I just was on fire. This idea in my head. I'm like, I'm going to go create a chart. You ever do that? You get a great idea. You go, I'm going to go create a chart on this. It's going to preach. And I saw in my head a pie chart that had all these priorities around it in my life. So I said, I'm going to create this chart. I even called my intern at Unity of Dallas, spiritual intern. I said, we're creating a chart. Well, then I went to Google, Swami Google. And once I Googlated it, I saw that it's not a unique idea. Don't you hate that? It's a unique idea, but no, it's not really. However, there was unique aspects to the chart that I saw in my head. And when I was fleshing this chart that I got to share with our congregation, and they were like, let's make a workshop out of this. This needs to be a workshop, because it illuminated once again what net we were throwing out and what we were catching with that net or not. And it got me asking questions. And I'm going to show you the chart in just a minute. But it got me asking questions, what is a balanced life really? And if I want to raise one of the bars in one area of my life, do I have to lower the bar in the other? Well, that maybe doesn't seem like how I want to put my resources ever either. That may not work. Or do I have to take all of my time and energy from the tank and spread it out evenly across all of my priorities in life? Well, certain things require more time, so I don't really think that will work either. So I created this tool that has an inner circle, and this was sent to you for all of you that read your e-news. I believe it was in there. You have to just click on it. You don't have to do it now, but later on, I think there's a lot of value to doing this exercise. So don't just look at it and then not do it. It's kind of like when I used to do my accounting homework in college. I thought I knew it, got into the test. Like I probably would have answered that correctly had I actually done the exercise, right? Done my homework. So in the center here is here we go, is a circle. And at the center of that circle, it says, I am. And that's God. That's the divine. That is the source of all. That's our first principle. A lot of congregations say it, that statement, our first principle. God is the power in my life and in the universe. That's the I am. That means that there's an abundance of time, energy, and resources. There is no lack. So therefore, Reverend Jim was saying in his book, no sense in having lack consciousness. So that's where it all starts. That's the inner circle. In the Bible, 1 Timothy 6:17, it says, we put all of our hope in God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. So I think we can agree there's really no lack. Sometimes there's just the appearance of lack. Now, the only way I can get to that, though, the only way I can really honor that middle circle that I am, is to expand out and live according to my values. The only way I can live a balanced life is to develop strong values that guide my actions. Imbalance happens for me when I haven't lived my values in a certain situation. Can you think of a time in your life where your values slipped and you got out of sync? Maybe it's from holding a grudge. Forgiveness can be tough. I mean, forgiveness is a hard dish on the table to take in. It can feel tough, like a steak that's been cooked too long. It's just hard to do. Maybe that's it. But what else can you think of? I think a way we communicate with others is a big one. Here's one I get a lot. So many people are so devoted of their time and their resources and their efforts to someone else or their job or their situation, and it's not enjoyable. Not being authentic, pretending that you really want to be here, spending that time with a certain individual or situation or place, and that's a pretend job. It's not authentic. Easy to get out of balance. And I think we are actually here to share our own unique values to others. It's why we're here. We're a vehicle to give others these values, and how we do things is the gift we have to the world, how we give our values. The accountant that I was talking to earlier in the week is actually our treasurer. And she said, what if my gift, what if my value is that I can look people in the eye when talking? Well, she seemed to think that wasn't rare for an accountant, but she said, maybe that's a value I bring to the world, and maybe that's enough to be who I am, that I am in that situation. I don't necessarily have to be a rock star or a billionaire to prove to people that I have balance. And that's a big unity principle, because the world is selling us on the idea that they have out there is what we need to become more balanced and more fulfilled. If I only had that, then I could become more balanced and live a more balanced lifestyle and be happy. But that's living from the outside in. We talk about living from the inside out. That's why we talk about opening our spiritual eyes to the truth and then moving forward in that way. I teach a class, Nonviolent Communication and Crucial Conversations. It's a book called Crucial Conversations, and I like that book quite a bit. I highly recommend it, and I teach the SE class on communication. We said something, or I think I said it, just said something like, what people need is to feel whole, that there's just something that people need is to absolutely feel hit whole and balanced. And one of the favorite books of mine is called A Search for Oneness. And in that book, it was written in the 70s. It was about these psychiatrists who concluded, essentially, that the so-called crazy people in the sanatoriums were all really just looking to feel at one with something. That's what we need to feel balanced. And their so-called craziness was an attempt to alter reality to be at one with someone else. They don't really draw any conclusions to what oneness is, or what it means to feel at one with others. But unity has the tools to know that too. But I think we are here for that. So there's no way to feel balanced if we don't feel at one, if we don't understand that we are a piece of the universe, a piece of the cosmic puzzle, and that is what we are here to do. Okay, so values right there is what this circle is. And I'll put love, peace, harmony, wherever the camera is here. Love, peace, that's why I'm going like this, trying to find the camera. Love, peace, and harmony in the center, and creativity. Now that's just 4. You could have more, but you could start with certain, after you meditate, start with certain values and you write them right there. Right there. Because once I do that and I meditate, I am that. I am love. I am love. I am creative. I am creative. If I recognize that as the truth of me, then I'm already feeling more whole. I'm already feeling more at one, more balanced. So from there, I go to create my priorities. Okay, so from there, I go and I create my priorities. Now, here are the priorities that I put. I put things like nutrition. I put movement. You know, we should all get excited every day about moving somewhere, somehow, gardening, walking across the house, going to the gym, whatever it is. This is an area we got to be in balance in. I think it was Myrtle Fillmore that said, if you don't feel like getting out of bed, neither does your spirit, or neither does your soul, right? Here is, I'm reading this through the paper, community, and I mean beyond unity for me, since most of my community is unity, but even going beyond that, right? Family, prosperity, metaphysical spirituality, work, play. So all these are priorities in my life. Now, we could have more than that, certainly, or less than that, but just try it. Then what you do is you score yourself 1 to 10. Score yourself on there and be honest, be authentic. And then something amazing happens. Because when I do it, especially if I just reflect over the past week or two, not my whole life or anything, but just reflect in the near term, in the near past, how I've done. I usually find areas that I go, oh yeah, I could have done better at that. So the scoring is to not beat yourself up. The scoring is to say, did I do my best? It's one of the 4 agreements by the Ruiz brothers. Do your best. Did I do my best in these areas? And then score from a 1 to 10. So this was a couple months ago, this particular one that's colored here that I'm going to show you. So it's me being vulnerable today. So I did pretty good and scored about a 7 or 8 or a 9. That's awesome. In some areas, I always think I can do better. I didn't give myself a 10, but maybe that'll change. But surprisingly, 2 areas that I think I'm pretty strong at as a rule, not in those couple of weeks. I gave myself a lower number in family and community. So what can I do about family? Well, I get a chance to do that during sabbatical, don't I? I got to read more stories. Okay. But I already have given myself a better score than this because I brought more awareness to it. I prayed about it, but you start from the I am that. I'm affirming the truth. There is no lack of that. So why wouldn't I put more attention to it? So this is just a neat way. Like I said, I'm building a workshop out of this just because in a way it's a simple tool. But when you get into all the values and you get into the truth of the source of everything and you put it all together, then get a 10. Get a 10 and then put new priorities if that's important to you. So it's just it's an exercise. But at the end of the day, when you do this and you're honest with yourself, and maybe it is putting give more, or more family, more play. Actually, I didn't score very well in play. I need to score better in that because I like to play. That's who I am. But it's easy to rationalize and justify why, I can't do that. I've got to go do this. So yeah, maybe it's hobbies for you, but whatever it is for you to help you reach the balance, to reach balance. And I just feel that what I see happening in the world is there's this general lack of true connection, forgetting to connect with God that I am every day, or forgetting to be honest, authentic with people, to look into their soul, to spend that time with them. And here's an exercise. I know we're running out of time, so let me give you one exercise. If that applies to you, here's something that you can do, and something I like to do in some of the communications classes is partner up with somebody and then just let them speak about 3 minutes. You can partner up with your spouse later, partner up with your neighbor, but just listen for 3 minutes and connect with them. That's your intention. Because the I am is there. It's part of your value, connection, and to feel peace and harmony in my situation, to feel love, to feel creative with whoever it is. To just listen for 3 minutes, not thinking about an answer to what they're saying, not feeling I have to say anything to them, not feeling I have to defend myself, and just listen. Okay, once you get to be a 10 in that, a master of that, then go and do it with somebody on a hot button issue, such as, I don't know, I can't think of one. Are there any hot button issues out there these days? Nah, I can't, coronavirus, politics, religion, think of anything. No, I can't think of anything. So to sit there in love, sit there in values, in my values, with God as my source and my supply. Can I get to be a 10 in these areas in my priorities, sitting there with that person? Could I play more? Could I have more community? Could I have a prosperous consciousness with that person, no matter what it is they're talking about? Then perhaps use something called magic words. And there's a bunch of magic words, and you can tell me what you do, but magic words are like thank you. Sometimes I don't have to be right. I'd rather be in relationship. That's the value. That's the priority. I don't have to be right. I want to be in a relationship. So I might just say thank you. I might say please. I might say I see where you're coming from. I'd be upset if that happened to me. Identify with the person and their needs and their values. And another thing you can always say to people is, I want to be a part of the solution. In the world today, I want to be a part of the solution and not the problem. And you're important to me. So thank you for sharing that. Automatically, I feel more in balance. I feel more at one. I feel more not in lack consciousness. I'm not in, oh, it's your fault, mind your own business. Where a person says, it is my business, or I wouldn't be talking about it. So yeah, those are, some people call this fighting words. It's tough to be a flight attendant these days. If somebody comes in not wearing their mask, there's magic words, and then there's something else. There's, oh, it's our policy. You got to put your mask on. You put it right now, or you're getting kicked off the plane. Well, that may be true. But could I say, I hear you. But in my mind, I'm thinking about my values of love. I hear you. And, we're all in this together today. It is a policy of the airline, of course. But we just got an hour and a half trip. If you can just throw on that thin piece of material, and we can get there together and go have a vacation or whatever they're doing. The universe is conspiring in your favor is what I want you to know, and what I want people to know, even if I have a disagreement with them. We're all in this together. The universe is conspiring in your favor. You've won the lottery. You're here. You're here on this life. To be here, to be born, and you've won the lottery. Universe conspiring in your favor. In fact, challenges, I've heard that, be a reverse hypochondriac. That's somebody that doesn't worry. They know it's going to work out for good because what's in the center of the circle? I am. There's an abundance of everything, according to page 83 of Reverend Jim's book. According to what Jesus said. I am that I am. And if you don't think you deserve it, then it's going to be very hard for you to manifest and to understand abundance of all of these areas on your sheet and the capability that we have to be 10 in all of these areas. And just say thank you. Thank you, God. Say thank you to someone you disagree with, as opposed to bleep you. See if that works. And I guarantee that it works if you work it, like Johnny Coleman used to say, and just let that wash over you today. In meditation, let's take a moment and meditate together as we get ready to close up or slow down a little bit today. I invite you just to get comfortable with your feet under you on the ground, just rooted, uncross your legs, hands in a comfortable position. And let's just take a deep breath together. Take another deep breath. Connecting our hearts and our minds. Getting into that zone that, yes, I have won the lottery. I am moving forth in my life with the power of the divine, the loving source and power that is at my core right now. I move forward to share my unique gifts and potential with each and every person, even as I'm balanced in my priorities. Living a life of value, understanding what my values are. And if I don't know what my true values are anymore, if I've lost my way, if it's gotten dark from fishing on the wrong side of the boat, not even using a net, but complaining that there's no fish. Living in a world of lack, it is time to be illuminated. I breathe that in now, breathe in the light of the Christ into every cell in my body. Seeing every cell in my body light up with the abundance of all that is good, all that is God. Starting with thanksgiving. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you for helping me move toward being able to score myself a 10 in health, giving it the attention that my body deserves. Getting a 10 in play, in family, community, my church, myself. I am grateful. I am love. I am peace and harmony in this present moment, this moment that matters most. And then the next moment and the next moment. So thank you, God. Ready to demonstrate this in my life, starting now. So it is, so it shall be. Amen and amen. Thank you. I am glad that you guys are all a part of my universe and a very important piece of the universe. Go lead from that God place, that centered place of God where there is no separation. And if you find your wheel out of balance or even out of alignment, then go back to the tools, the Unity tools. And I recommend you download from your e-news this chart that we worked on today and just work it and live it up. Thank you guys. Bless you. And namaste. Yeah.
You're muted.
I've just put some lyrics up in the chat box.
Nina, I don't think you're on.
Really?
Unmute that deal.
No, I am
We all had to learn
unmuted.
how to say that.
I am unmuted.
Words we never thought we would be saying.
Unmuted. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, good, because it was unmuted. Maybe it was just at the wrong angle to the mic. So there are some lyrics in the chat box. This is Into the World. It's got a lot of verses, so I'm not gonna teach it beforehand. You'll catch on to it very quickly. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world, trusting the way will be shown every day. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world. We speak our truth into the world. We speak our truth into the world, trusting the way will be shown every day. We speak our truth into the world. We speak our truth into the world. We shine our light into the world. We shine our light into the world, trusting the way will be shown every day. We shine our light into the world. We shine our light into the world. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world, trusting the way will be shown every day. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world. We bring our hearts into the world.
Thank you, Dana. Now is the time when we bless our tithes and offerings as a symbol of abundance flowing into and through our lives and throughout the world. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and it returns to the giver, blessed and multiplied. We have another song, Dina?
No, I left off the amen because Reverend James seemed to close up his
Okay.
meditation and talk so beautifully. So I just did the song. So
So
announcements
we're-
and the peace song. All I've got is the peace song.
Yeah.
Is it time now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So be it. The lyrics are already up. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
and our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, thank you. You can unmute and stop the recording.
Great